Hi and welcome. My name is Rich Pasini. Today is April 30th, 2020. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to start off by saying thank you to all the new subscribers who recently subscribed to my channel. It is greatly appreciated. Hope you like the content and come back for more. Today I got quite a few windows opened up, folks. Got a lot of news I want to share with you guys, so I hope you can stick around. It's coming up. Thanks. Okay, before I get started, I just want to let you guys know who are new, or if you're visiting for the first time, I do not read everything verbatim. I will give you the URLs where I'm getting the information from, and the rest is up to you to pick up where I left off. These windows that you see up on my screen up here are going to be from the same company, so I'm just going to give you the URL once, and hopefully I'll try to expand a little on each of these topics, and then we'll go right across here, and we'll hopefully finish this up. I don't want to keep it too long, guys. So without further ado, let's get right to it. The first story is from Ecommerce Bites, and it's www.ecommercebites.com. And before I do get started, as I always say in my other videos, please go directly to the websites for the simple reason is they have active hyperlinks in there, and the only way to activate those active hyperlinks is to go to the site itself. So without further ado, and I also like to throw out the date so you know, I want you to know that the information is current and up to date. Somewhat up to date. Today's the 30th, but anyway, what can I tell you? Okay, this came out April 29, 2020. It goes on to say sales on eBay flat in the first 3 months of 2020, addresses COVID. It goes on to say eBay posted its first quarter 2020 financial results on Wednesday afternoon. For the first 3 months of the year, compared to the same period 2019, revenue was up 1%. The GMV remained flat on a foreign exchange neutral basis. GMV, gross merchandise volume, is the total value of all successfully closed transactions between the users, regardless of whether the buyer and the seller actually consummated the transaction. In its presentation to its investors, it shows GMV in the U.S. was down 4% in a quarter. I'm not going to get too much into this here, folks. It's very dismal news, but it is what it is. We are in a crisis right now, and you got to expect certain things like this not to go 100% like we would like them. I know I'm like that. I like to see things always, be on right on time there, and right on. How could you say it there? Well, I would like to see things the way they were. Let's put it that way. Back the way they were. Okay. I mean, it's when I do the news and I pick these things up from Google alerts, and I got other stuff I could put out there, but I don't want to get too much into it, folks. I'm getting so tired of hearing about this COVID thing. It's really a nuisance. But anyway, it goes on to say here, just reading in a little more into it, it says in its presentation to investors, it shows GMV in the U.S. was down 4% in a quarter. eBay revealed that it has now processed over $3 billion in GMV through managed payments for over 32,000 sellers. eBay also announced the promoted listing seller ads generated $137 million of revenue for the company in the first quarter, up 111% on an FX neutral basis. Nearly 1.2 million sellers promoted more than 310 listings in the quarter. For those of you guys out there, I don't know if you ever used promoted listings. I have in the past. I didn't really see a big uptick in sales. I don't know, maybe you guys might have. I haven't. But for those of you out there who have used it, or if you're not familiar with it, you may want to try it out. Maybe on a couple of items. I wouldn't do all your listings. I tried on all my listings, and to be honest with you, I didn't see a big uptick in sales. But there may be ones that you may want to look into. But check it out if you get a chance. You know, it's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing for me anyway. But you never know. It might be of helpful to you. But for me, I didn't really get too much out of it. But it's always worth trying, right? All right, let's move to the next screen here. All right, the next one over here is this came out April 28, 2020. eBay just gave sellers a reason to offer local pickup. It goes, newsflash, eBay is introducing delivery confirmation for local pickup. It could be a game changer since many sellers haven't wanted to take the risk of local buyers filing an item not received claims, INRS, with no way to prove the buyer took possession of the item. It goes on to say here, eBay requires sellers to refund INR claims unless they can provide a tracking number showing that the item was delivered. But eBay is introducing QR codes that will serve as proof of delivery from your local pickup orders. eBay engineer Maggie Donalds announced the new feature during an episode of the eBay for Business podcast. She said that without the tracking information, you could potentially expose yourself to a seller defect on your account. and then explained how the new feature worked through the use of the QR codes. You see these things here, like I said, in blue on this particular website. They're always blue. Those are active hyperlinks. So if you want to read more into it, you're going to need to, like I said, you're going to need to go directly to the website itself. The QR code thing there, I remember reading about that there, the QR codes. I didn't, let's just read a little more into it here before we get more into it. It says over here, the buyer will now receive a QR code and 6-digit code with their order confirmation email. They will present that to the seller when they go to meet the exchange of the product, and all the seller has to do is through the app, they will scan the QR code, which will generate a tracking number, which will mark the item as delivered across all platforms. Unfortunately, if a seller hasn't selected local pickup as an option, the new feature won't work if a buyer makes a request to pick up an item in person. I had that QR code thing on my phone. I took it off. It's pretty helpful in some cases. When I used to go to the thrift store, I would do that there. I would pop in the code thing in there, the barcode reader, and it'd bring up the information really quick at times. But I found that on a couple occasions that even with the barcode reader, what eBay has a built-in application, I would be getting different things there. So if I popped let's say I was taking let's say a Sony camera, I'm just using an example, and had a box, and it happened to be in a thrift store, and I would cue in that code there, scan it, it would give me something totally different. I think it was a little sketchy there at one point, but I think they might have, I don't know, I haven't used it in a while, they might have gotten that thing now up to snuff. So we'll see what happens with that. But this is what you got going on here, folks. So I don't know if you guys offer local pickup. I do. I know there are some people out there that are a little skeptic on it. They don't like the idea of having strangers come to their house because they're afraid of maybe the person might rob them, take the item and take off or whatever. I don't know. I've done it with Facebook, the Facebook Marketplace. I sold a couple items like that where I had the person come to the house to pick up. And all the transactions I've been, even with eBay too, I have to honestly say, thank God, knock on wood, I never had any problem with that, folks. I never really had a problem with people coming to the house. However, there are people that don't like the idea of you coming to their residence, and I can understand why. There's a couple stories I could tell you, but I'm not going to get into it right now. Maybe we'll save it for another time. All right, so let's move to the next page here. Now, for those Etsy sellers, I'm a registered seller on Etsy, but I don't have anything listed on Etsy. I did try it in the past, though. I had a couple vintage T-shirts on it. I think I left them for a couple of months. I wasn't getting any feedback on it, so I said, you know what? It's time to go. I didn't close out my account. I just didn't bother putting stuff on there. But maybe eventually I will start maybe putting stuff on there. Anyway, this story came out April 28, 2020. It says Etsy resumes for fees. Yeah, Etsy resumes fees for mandatory offsite ad program. Goes on to say Etsy is making all but the smaller sellers pay for sales generated through offset ads program. Etsy announced the new ad program in February and told sellers they would have to pay a percentage of the sales program generated for their shops. Okay, for you Etsy sellers out there, this is information for you. I'm not selling on Etsy, even though I'm a registered seller, so I just want to throw this information out there to you guys. Keep it in mind. When I put this information out there, it's to help you guys out, to give you a little heads up of what's going on in the e-commerce world. So you might want to adhere to that, especially if you're an Etsy seller. Let's move to the next one here. Looks like another one here. Let's see. That wasn't the same one. Okay, this is another one, April 28, 2020. Etsy sellers report payment and disbursement problems. Okay, another Etsy story. Okay, let's read a little more into this one here. It goes on to say Etsy sellers are reporting both payment and processing disbursement issues. Several readers said that they have been waiting many days for Etsy to deposit its funds into their accounts. I'm a seller, and I am wondering if anyone else is reporting this, that Etsy is reporting that Etsy is holding back payments from sales, wrote one reader on April 27th. I'm signed up with Etsy for automatic next day deposits to my bank account. I've checked my Etsy finances to see if I had a payment for sales due to be deposited to my bank account last Wednesday at 4/22nd, and as of this morning, the money is still sitting on Etsy with the notification that it will now be deposited on 4/28, 6 days later. Okay. All right. Well, just remember now with this story, this came out April 28th. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. So We're going to keep moving along here with this here. And the other thing I always like to mention to you guys, if you're coming to this site here, read some of the comments. Some of the comments are pretty cool. I mean, sometimes, like I said it before in my other videos, these people are buyers and sellers just like you and they may bring something to your attention that we might be aware of. So I recommend you check out the what do you call it, the comment section. You could also leave a comment too. When you scroll down to the bottom, there's quite a bit over here. Quite a bit of comments here, as you can see. You could also leave a comment as well. Okay, you just leave your email in there, pop an password, and you log on for AB Verify, and then you'll be able to have your say in this as well. All right, let's move to the next window, and this is the story you're looking for. Just to let you know, on Ecommerce Bites, it's the one here. Okay, all right, let's close this window out. It's quite a bit of windows. I didn't realize I had that many up. And this one here came out April 29, 2020. Will eBay delay disbursements when it takes over its payments? Hey. I'm not crazy about that managed payment service. I like the PayPal. I've been hearing a little too much on the on and off with this here. I get mixed emotions with the people who use the managed payments. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't know. I can't say because I never really tried it, so I don't want to sit there and I'm not bad mouthing it, but at the same time, I'd rather stick with PayPal, to be honest with you. But anyway, this goes on to say here, dear Ina, and for those who don't know, Ina Steiner is the founder of this, co-founder of Ecommerce Bites, and also the editor. Really good site. Highly recommend you check it out on occasion, or maybe daily, or whatever. Well, when they come out with the new updates. Anyway, it goes on to say, dear Ina, as always, I find your website very informative and up to date with the e-commerce events, activity updates, and changes in marketplaces. A must read to stay on top on what goes on behind the scenes of these days. Referring to the eBay's latest referring to eBay announcement to stream ahead of with managed payments. eBay pushes sellers into managed payments despite pandemic. I didn't opt into it. I don't want to go into it. I hope it's not going to be a mandatory thing. But if it is, I'll give it a shot. I'll let you know what I think of it. I'll give you my personal take on it, but I'm not going to be too crazy about it. But anyway, let's read a little more answer. It says, I received the same communication and feel awful to have join if forced to. Same here. It really set me up on a bad mood. Okay, I believe eBay's timing was and is crucial for this announcement, as uncertain times, my personal view, based on 20 plus years of buying and selling on eBay, is affecting eBay's bottom line and reputation. And it goes on to say here a little more. It goes on to say there is a very large increase in fraudulent activity by dishonest sellers on eBay in the last few months. Sellers that pop up out of the blue and eventually to go rogue with what seems to be an unlimited supply of high demand items at the very attractive market discount that gobbled up by eBay buyers in volume. I wonder if it sounds like they're talking about the price gouging thing, like the essentials that people need. I talked about this in my other videos as well. You guys know how I feel about price gouging. I am not crazy about that at all. But anyway, let's read a little more into this. It says it goes on to say this increase in dishonest activity may even be blamed to the fact that eBay will indeed go ahead with managed payments. Why I say this? Because once we switch to managed payments, eBay has control of the money and better be prepared to fight fraud. That's the part I don't like about the managed payment service with eBay. I don't like the idea that they're holding my money. I like to take care of my own finances. What I like about eBay is once a buyer makes a purchase, it goes to my PayPal account. I go into PayPal and I transfer it over to my personal business banking account. That's the way it's always been with me for years. I've been doing it that way. Now, I don't like the idea of somebody holding my money and to release the funds on their terms. I like to do it right away. If a person makes a sale today, makes a purchase, I take as soon as it's paid up, I will go, transfer it over to my personal banking account. At least I know the funds are there. I don't like the idea of somebody managing my money, okay? Let alone eBay. Then it goes on to say, reading a little more into this here, it says a combination of the selling tactic along with the fake tracking numbers, and as I've experienced, you have mentioned on your site, or simply listing items sellers do not have at least in the quantity offered creates a problem for eBay. Okay, they used to have a thing. I don't know if they still do it, a dry run thing, where people don't have the actual products And what they do is they'll take pictures or whatever. And what they do is that's like almost like a form of drop shipping, I believe. I could be wrong, but or another thing is maybe the person deals with the manufacturer or a local wholesaler around the area, and they may know these things. In the past, I had something like that. Similar in the past, I used to deal with a wholesaler of clothes, but I didn't sell on eBay at the time. And, he would let you take things on consignment. But in some cases, if you didn't buy it and he held it for you, I didn't do it. But you could take pictures, and then, if going forward, fast forward to eBay's time, I would be able to take a picture, put the item up, but not actually have it physically. As long as the wholesaler had it, not to let them ship it out. It was like they used to call like a dry run or something like that there, dry testing or dry selling, something along that line. I wouldn't do it. In these days, I wouldn't do it. I used to sell on the outside clothing. I had a van back then, and I'd have it all. When I did do consignment selling, this was before eBay came into existence. I would go to the wholesaler, get in that consignment, and then, he would let me take so many things, and then I'd pay him once the item sold. It worked out good that way. But I think today people could do something. I think people may be doing something similar like that. I don't know. I heard stories like that where people have sellers that will do stuff like that. They may have an item that they don't have the quantity, or it's not in stock, and they still leave it up on eBay. And sometimes that's what causes delay in shipping, and you don't want to do that. That's not the way you want to conduct a business. Even though you're doing it on eBay or whatever, versus a brick and mortar store, that's a whole different story, But when you're doing business on eBay like that, it's not really a good way to go with that. So I don't know. But anyway, getting back into this here, a little more into this here. I'm sorry I go off key with this at times. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into this here because there's quite a bit to read here. And again, like I said, I want to keep it as short as possible. Yeah. All right. So you guys know the site. See over here again, guys, with the blue. Okay. eBay pushes sellers a matter. You might want to read this here. Okay. Definitely, it's a hyperlink. That's why I tell you got to go to the sites. Check it out. All right. I don't want to explain too much because I still got quite a few windows open up here. All right. Here's another one that came out April 27, 2020. Seller follows Etsy advice on glitch and gets dinged $7. Let's read what this is all about. And again, for you Etsy sellers out there, dear Ina, 3 days ago I sold a handbag on Etsy. They received the free shipping as per my free shipping program. Problem is, my setting is for U.S. buyers only, and this buyer is in Canada. I alerted Etsy. They sent the boilerplate replying, advising me to cancel the order and refund the buyer. I took the advice and began the process. Surprisingly, I found that my credit card would be charged nearly $7 to partially cover the cancellation/refund. Excuse me. The error was not mine. It was Etsy. It was Etsy's system that glitched. Why would I have to pay partially? Why would I have to pay for it? No, you shouldn't have to. If there's a discrepancy with their website or something happened because of a glitch, Etsy should either waive that or just eat the cost. You shouldn't have to pay for it. It goes on to say here, I sent another email and I'm waiting for an actual human to answer one. I asked why I was being penalized for Etsy's error and asked them to waive that fee. They should. You shouldn't be held accountable for it. Has anyone else experienced this international free shipping glitch on Etsy? Did Etsy charge you for the error, or did they waive it? Should I discontinue my free shipping program to avoid what may be a common issue with Etsy? I can't afford losses I'd incur if this is a common recurring glitch, John. Me personally, with the free program thing like that, I would be a little sketchy with that there. I don't know if I would get involved with that just yet. I like doing things the old-fashioned way. I'm not really too crazy about all these little promos that these companies put out. However, though, for some people it works. Not me. I'm not really into it. I don't know what your take is on that, but you could check that out for yourself. So again, for you Etsy sellers, that pertains to you. All right. USPS Pick Up and Delivery curbside outside of retail stores. The story came out April 29, 2020. It goes on to say sellers who use UPS can drop off their package outside of some Michael's Arts and Crafts retail stores across the U.S. It says the service is available through UPS Access Point, which already had locations open inside of over 800 Michael's stores. In addition, buyers can drop off the USPS pre-labeled shipments, including returns to retailers that accept UPS return shipments. Pretty cool. All right, I'm not going to expand too much in this here. Do you guys out there, whoever uses UPS, again, this pertains to you. I don't use UPS. I use the United States Postal Service exclusively for all my shipping needs. I love them. I know eBay has FedEx too. You could also use them as well, but I'm not a FedEx or UPS guy. I love the United States Postal Service, and I will patronize them and them only. So that's my take on it. No offense. It's just a service I prefer to use. Okay, here's another one here. This is for Shopify. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Shopify. It's another site where you could set up selling and stuff like that. I'm not a Shopify person, but I'll just share a little information about this here. Story came out April 28, 2020. It says Shopify is blowing people's minds today after it launched a new mobile shopping app. Many are characterizing it as a marketplace that could put pressure on Amazon. Look at that. Wow. I didn't get a chance to read all this stuff, folks. I mean, like I said, I cherry pick out the stuff I want to share with you guys, and I don't always get a chance to read all this stuff. So I just pop it out, and I figured, hey, I'm doing a reseller news here, so I might as well read it as I go along. So that's why if you see me sounds like a little, excited, or I sound a little surprised, that it's because I don't get a chance to read the whole thing. So I'm too busy wanting to get this information out to you guys. So it goes on to say Shopify is an e-commerce platform that powers over 1 million merchants. Its new Shop app is the first of its kind mobile shopping app designed to create more intuitive online shopping experience from product discovery to package delivery. Pretty cool. All right. You may want to look into it. I know there's not much to read here, but you could check into this here. What is this here? New thing here you got going on here? Local filter. Okay, this is a little something different. This format's set up a little different. Yeah, not much. Okay, you could check that out. Maybe you are familiar with Shopify. Maybe you do have a Shopify store or whatever. You might want to read a little into this here. Okay, we're getting down to it. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. It's starting to shorten up. This story came out April 27, 2020. It says helping retailers fight the fear of COVID cooties. Ooh. Okay. It goes on to say here. Let me move my mouse cursor up here. It says rifling through the bins of used clothing, used to bring joy to online sellers, hoping to nab designer goods at the thrift store prices to resell on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or selling apps for a healthy profit. But the coronavirus pandemic may put a damper on the thrill of the hunt scouting trips, and could even give mall shoppers the heebie-jeebies. A new service hopes to reassure a germaphobe, that's like me, and that's how I feel about this stuff, customers and store employees who may be afraid of catching COVID by offering certified stores and adhering to good hygiene practices. That's another thing too. The stuff I have right now on eBay, I just want to share this really quick with you, like the girls' clothing and stuff. That's for my own daughters. They give me stuff that they want, that we're going to give it to, we're going to donate. And they asked me, Dad, you want to sell some stuff? So I picked stuff I thought would be, sellable. And all that stuff I have is washed and, cleansed or whatever. I don't put anything up there. If I did buy any clothing off of a thrift store, it would definitely be washed. I highly recommend people doing that there too, and maybe if you could put like a little whatever, something that has a little disinfectant in there. You can't, of course, well, they do have bleach alternatives, but I was going to say bleach is a good thing to put in there. Well, if you got whites, that of course. But for people who do sell clothing like that there, if the time comes the stores ever open up, they're closed around here right now, as you know. But if I do buy clothing like that there, I do always wash the stuff I put up on eBay. For the simple reason is I've been doing this even before the COVID thing came into play. But you may want to do that, folks. If you're going to sell clothing from a thrift store, of course you're going to, take all your precaution. But for the buyer's sake, safety, whatever, try to cut back on, spreading this thing. I would highly recommend that, you get you do your wash. Even people say I got to wash clothes. Well, what are you going to do, right? You're going to take a chance of taking stuff off a rack and bring it home and snap pictures and stuff like that. You could get like a bleach alternative and stuff like that for colors, stuff that's safe for colors, and clean them up, wash the clothing. I have a steamer. I have not a commercial steamer, but it's a heavy duty steamer, and that's what I do. Once the clothes get washed, they dried, washed and dried. I will take out the wrinkles. I steam them up, and then I hang them up on a rack And if people choose to buy the clothes, they're already there. But I usually do give them a finalized, final steaming on there, because sometimes when they're too bunched together, they make it a little wrinkle or crease in them. I like to make sure the clothes go out in pretty good, clean conditions. Well, they're always clean, but without wrinkles and stuff in there. So I do take the initiative to steam clean the clothes. But anyway, I'm not going to expand too much on this. I got one more window open up here, folks. I do want to call it a day with this here. So keep that in mind, okay? Helping retailers fight the fear of COVID. Cooties, that's the story you're looking for. And that came out April 27, 2020. And last but not least, just thought I'd share this with you guys. I have a website, my own website. But the products I have, my featured products on my website are for all my eBay listings, okay? So, but let's read a little into this here. Again, it's from the same company, Ecommerce Bites. It says, ever thought about your own e-commerce website? You could look into this here, folks. It goes on to say here, you don't have to put up with the constant rule change and lack of support. You got into online sales to be your own boss. Take it back. We can help you set up your own e-commerce website. Unlimited items, unlimited free Google shopping feeds, free payment processing with PayPal or Square. Other merchant processes available, your choice of shipping methods and charges. Not going to read too much into this here. That's why I gave you the URL, okay? And the story you're looking for, you're going to go to the eBay. Here we go, everything's eBay. Ecommerce Bites Classifieds, okay? This is where you're going to find the story, all right? If you want to get involved with the eBay, I keep saying eBay, auction bites, you could register over here for the classifieds, and you can set up your classified ad and so on and so forth. That's why I like to share this information with you guys. It's really good. This site is one of my favorites. This one in Tamebay. Tamebay had some stories too I could have shared with you guys, but I figured let me keep this all e-commerce bites, news, because like I said, they do put out really good information out there. And with that, I'm going to bump out of this window. Well, that concludes this video. I hope you found the information helpful, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And if you want to be updated to when I post out new videos, please hit that bell notification icon. My name is Rich Pasini. Today is April 30th, 2020. I'm wishing you all the best in sales. Until next time, bye-bye for now.